What's up YouTube? Dale here from... What's up YouTube? Dale...
It's always good when you're... trying to play catch up. Give me 2 seconds. Here we go, right, cool. Cool, right, yeah. You'll be able to see an absolute mountain of mayhem and chaos in front of you. In short, these are a couple of Blazing Dominion decks. There's some that I still need to build. Doomsday, Heroes, Trains, Fairy Tales, GMX as well is amongst them. They're going to go to one side. At the back as well, I've also got Black Crows that I'm waiting on a couple of cards for. I've got Archfiends which are pretty much ready. I'm just going to move this lot out of the way here. Just try and open up there. Won't let me open up the iris. Interesting. Stack there. They're just decks that need to be filed away. But in short, I've got Clown Crew. I've got, once I move these out of the way as well. Clown Crew. I've got Cool Tunes, and then I've got Red Dragon Archery, which I'm still in the process of building. So yeah. I mean, a lot of people have been asking, this is just going to be a very casual stream, but basically just kind of testing out some of these decks, doing some test hands on them, and then adapting and changing what is needed. So yeah, this will be a preview of the Red Dragon Archfiend build. It's not perfect yet. I'm still working back and forth with Terry to kind of get it to a place where, you know, kind of happy with it. So yeah, let me just try and pull up, try and see what adaptations I'm making on this one at the moment. What am I looking for? So kind of a good combo going. Right, no, that's not it. This one. Okay, extra deck. Let's just quick look on this one. So it's Malong and then Packbit, and then there is a couple of other bits in here. Pretty sure I've got all of these. Is it literally just... Yeah, okay, so it looks like there's one change in the extra deck. For the main deck, non-engine. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. Main deck of that. Got the side deck that I've got to put together as well. Wow, there's a lot to change. Alright, I'll change that afterwards. It's quite a bit to change. Woo! Didn't realise it was going to be so much change, but you know. But yeah, the idea is that we're just going to kind of test this out. I'm still learning the newer combos for it. I've also got an update to Clown Crew that I'll take you through as well. We'll test that. That's involving the Kashtira monsters. Which is kind of cool. There's like, where you've got synergies with Mitsurugis, because obviously if you tribute the Mitsurugis, they get additional effect. There's actually just some really nice ways with the Kashtiras that can still end your field on a decent amount of disruptions if you do get interacted with, but then can also just be free fodder that you can tribute off and then bring back around and kind of get a peek at your opponent's extra deck, take away some of their core cards. I think when you're looking at Cool Tunes, maybe you take care of stuff like RSs and everything else in between like that. So this at the moment is going to be, this is Red Dragon Archfiend that I'm shuffling up at this moment in time. Then there's Cool Tunes and there is Clown Crew beside me as well. So whichever one we want to see once we've done this. This is basically just the first draft of the deck, testing it out, and then me trying to figure out and learn the combos, which we've got like our 1-card starters there already. Oh my god, what is going on? Okay. Right, so this will actually be pretty good for me to try and... Terry's shown me the Bone Archfiend combo. I only know the Resonator combo, or the Resonator play at this moment in time, which half these cards I've got in Resistance. So you start off by normal summoning down Soul Resonator. This in turn would add you, of course, the Bone Archfiend. Now, it's supposed a level 4 or lower Fiend. I don't think there's any other Archfiend that I can add from this. I could go Darkness Resonator as a nice extender. I do have Clown Crew. I've got Clown Crew with Clown Crew right here, which I'll do after I've done this one. I don't know why it's so dark on the screen. There we go, that might brighten it up for us a bit. Nah, still hasn't really done it, has it? Let me have a look at... Could be... Is this not, like, changed anything? It's made it a little bit brighter. Let me just have a look at the settings on my capture card. It's very, very... seems very dark for some unknown reason. No, that's timestamps. Don't know, it definitely needs to have... It's colour. Yeah, there we go. Brightness and contrast. No, that can't be right. I've like maxed out the brightness. It's still so dark. I mean, that's better. There you go. It's a bit brighter. Okay, cool. So let me catch back up. So Soul Resonator, you would usually search out Bone Archfiend, but in this scenario, I'm going to search out Darkness Resonator because I've already got it. Again, Crimson Guy is just another thing you would activate later on, but you'd go Bone Archfiend, you'd have to send one of your spare cards, like one of your other cards in the hand, so send the Bone Archfiend, use the effect of this. This would then manipulate its level by 1. You would send the Vision Resonator. Vision Resonator would then grab you the Crimson Gaia. So I suppose I could have just discarded the Crimson Gaia and kept the Bone Archfiend in the hand, which is absolutely fine. And then you've got an 8 on the field right now, so you synchro these two together, would then get you into the Crimson King, which is, there we go, gets you into Crimson King. Crimson King's effect, you add a card that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend from the deck to the hand, so that's how you're going to go and get your brand new Vice Dragon. Special summon the Vice Dragon, this one then... Especially when you add a Resonator from deck to hand, so this one's going to let me grab... That's going to let you grab the Synchron Resonator. So... Add the Synchron Resonator. Special Synchron Resonator. Synchro into a 7. Oh, it's not... 6, sorry, not 7. Synchro into a 6. You go Chain Link 1, Red Rising. Chain Link 2 would be Synchron Resonator. Synchron Resonator adds you back the Vision that you sent. The Red Rising then lets you special summon back one, and we're going to special summon back the Synchron Resonator. Then we're going to special summon down our Vision Resonator. We're going to Synchro a 7, which will be these here. This is going to let us go into... I mean, technically you can go into the Zarleen if you want to. The other 7 that you go for, if you want to get access to your Bestial lineup, is you go into the Crimson Blade Dragon. There we go. Crimson Blade Dragon. On Synchro Summon, take a level 8 or higher monster that can't be normal summoned or set. So you're going to be able to grab your Lubellion, wherever it may be. There you go, grab Lubellion. You would discard Lubellion to grab Magnamut, but obviously in this scenario we can get it to grab ourselves a Druid Swarm straight away. There we go. Then you'd activate Magnamut. Magnamut would then banish one from the graveyard, which, if you want to extend, you want it to be Vision Resonator. So you'd put these two together, and you'd go into Disbatter. But like, what I don't like about this line is that you are completely susceptible to a Nibiru. Like, Nibiru would cook you. Yes, we still have Crimson Gaia. Yes, we will still have plays to make. It's not the end of the world. But if you go down this route, you just get completely cooked by Nibiru, because you'll go Magnamut, banishing the Vision Resonator. Now you're in a good position. Now that your opponent can't really do anything. I also forgot to resolve the Synchron Resonator's effect again to add me back the Soul Resonator. But then you'd go get rid of your Magnamut for your Lubellion. Use Lubellion's effect to place. Lubellion places Etude. There we go. And then we've got Dispatter brings back the Vision Resonator. You would then synchro Vision Resonator with your Blade Dragon. Gets you into Hot Red. Then you'd activate the Crimson Gaia. Use Crimson Gaia's effect to grab you a monster that mentions RDA. So you'd grab the new trap card in the form of the King's Resonance. And then you'd pretty much end your turn there. This is the only thing I don't like, is that you'd resolve the end phase of your Bestial, and you'd want to grab your one Harmonia. Obviously, if you don't have Harmonia, you'd just grab a Bestial itself. But the issue is, Dispatter is not live, so you're then waiting on your opponent. Like, you would take the Dispatter, take the Druid Swarm, if you want to keep your thing live, if you want to keep your negation live. So, when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, target one banished card, shuffle it into the deck. Then if you shuffle it into your deck, destroy a monster. If you shuffle it into your opponent's deck, negate. Okay, I still need my opponent to have one banished then, really, so it doesn't make much of a difference. But I still feel that this should have been the Zarlian. At least with the Zarlian, I might have had ways, like, because then if you keep your Bestial Dispat alive, no, you can't even really do that either. Maybe as long as you've got the Druid Swarm or the Magnamut, because then you'd always go, your opponent goes Nibiru, you'd go Chaining 2 Magnamut, banish one from the grave, and then Chaining 3 would be Zarlian to then kind of do it. But you kind of see the idea that from the one combo, or 1.5 card combo, you've recycled your Soul Resonator, you've grabbed the Harmonia, you've got your King's Resonance that lets you bring back a Dark Synchro. So even if your opponent did Nibiru you, as long as you'd have the Resonance, you could bring back. Your Etude makes it basically like a one-sided D-fissure. And then obviously you've got your target negate off of your Hot Red, and you've got, as long as you can get a card banished, you'll have a disruption in the form of the Dispatter. And remember as well, like, because you've got that one-sided macro, you're going to be banishing your opponent's stuff as well, which is kind of important. So that's Red Dragon Archer. I'm going to need to keep testing this. So, yeah, Vice Dragon went mental today. I was talking to a friend, I was like, you should pick them up, they're like £7 a piece, and then they turned into be like £25. And I still don't fully understand why it's exactly gone up. Yeah, Harmonia is quite expensive right now, so again, with the Harmonia, you just play without it, and you'd play with the Bestials, and then your Dragon Search would be your Bestial Search, and then you kind of just build on from there. I'll come back to Red Dragon Archery in a minute. The next one I actually really want to test more is the changes that I've made to Clown Crew. So I've made a couple of changes for the extra deck and for the main deck as well, so I want to give that a go. I do need to change the sleeves that this deck is in as well. I got lucky and pulled 2 in 2 boxes. I wanted to get the Power Vice Dragon, but it nearly doubled in price. I don't get why either. Yeah, like, because I know that there's a bit of hype around the fact that something to do with Crimson King or the Crimson Blade Attackers can search you out, like Habakiri and stuff. But I don't know exactly why Vice Dragon's shut up. Like, I feel that there are different options, right? Oh yeah, sorry, I'm just playing out. What's better, RDA or Art Mage? I'm trying to see what to buy first next week. I think Art Mage R. You just need to be able to, like... well, actually, I'll take that back, because Art Mages, the best Art Mage deck involves canines. Like, we've already seen that, with Distant Coda winning the 3v3. The deck is still really good, though. Like, I'll tell you, if you take the canines out of it, the deck's still really good. I don't know. Probably, if I have to be like unbiased, Art Mages probably are just that tad bit better. But yeah, I'd buy Clown Crew. Anyway, Clown Crew, let's go. Yeah, here we go. Come on. Yeah. Now I just need access to Malabarisme, Bianca Vito. There we go. Perfect. This version of the deck, like the Breaker version, didn't really respect draw anyway, but this deck definitely does not respect draw, because you'd go activate Planet Rice-Off. Rice-Off searches you out. Unicorn is the one that I prefer to go for. Unicorn. And if you get drolled, you're like, okay, brother. But then we get to go special summon down Unicorn. Unicorn's effect, grab you Birth, activate Birth. Now this engine works out perfectly with Rehearsal, because Rehearsal can tribute off your own Unicorn, and you're like, cool, happy days. But yeah. Can make this synchro with the other cards, not just yeah, exactly. Which is why I don't understand why Vice Dragon Sisyphile has been bought out, but you know, part and part. Activate Malabaresme. Malabaresme will get us access to Fiends and Diabolo. We will then I'm just going to put this down here for my graveyard because the field's a bit of a mess at the moment. Tribute off Fiends and Diabolo. I could tribute off the Unicorn, to be honest, but I actually want both these graveyard effects. So we tribute both of these off with the Biancaviso. We'll go Biancaviso, Chainlink 1. Fiends, Chainlink 2, because I want the Matinee Operatics. And then Diabolo, Chainlink 4, because the Diabolo, Chainlink 4 is going to grab me... It can either grab me New Face or it can grab me Soiree. Let's probably go for Soiree. If I think I'm going to play Clown Crew tomorrow. I don't know, but I need to sort out my extra side deck if I'm going to do that. Anyway, shuffle up, and then we're going to draw 2 off of the Biancaviso. I could technically have set the Ritual spell. Yeah. Let's set the Ritual spell. Why would I do that? Well, let's set Rehearsal. Set Rehearsal instead, actually. So shuffle up. And then we draw 2 off the Biancaviso. So 1, 2. I'm just going to put these up over here. Then activate Rehearsal. Tribute off the Unicorn, because it's basically just free fodder. I can bring it back with Birth. Rehearsal will then let me add another Biancaviso. And then I'll add the Matinee Operatics. So I get the Matinee Operatics, I get the Biancaviso. I've only tributed off 2 cards though, because I've only tributed off 1 Xyz and 1 Fusion. So that's kind of the only draws I'm going to get from that. So we put that there, that goes there. I could technically reveal the Flare to add a Clown Crew card, but I'm not sure what card I would want to add. Because I've pretty much got everything I need. So I'd probably just activate the Operatics. Set the New Face. I've got 1 space left. Use Birth to bring back Unicorn, because then I've got another disruption during my opponent's turn. And then I guess I go to the end phase, resolve. I could use Operatics. What am I talking about? Yeah, they use Operatics first. I keep forgetting that Operatics has these effects. Like, it's just silly, that really, isn't it? Operatics will summon out the Meteor. We'll use the Rehearsal in the graveyard, banish that, tribute this, summon this, which now means I've tributed 3. This can then let me add back the Malabaresme, so I've got the follow-up for the next turn. Then move to the end phase. The Operatics will let me draw 3, because I've tributed off a Synchro Fusion and Xyz. So we'll draw 3. 1, 2, 3. What do I set? Maybe I'll set a Purge. And then what I can do is during the draw phase, activate the Clown Crew New Face. Draw phase, and then standby phase, New Face will put these 3 back. And I'll draw a new card. Is what it is. What did I end 2 for? Yeah, I ended my turn with 6 cards as well. So like, it was all completely legal. And now, I've got the ability of the Biancaviso to trigger. So, trigger off Unicorn to banish 1 from the extra deck. Then I can trigger off the Biancaviso. I could also chain the Soiree Operatics to get me 2 monsters, and then just, you know, you're tributing for days at that point. I'll tell you what I am going to do. I'm going to re-sleeve this deck because I think they deserve to have better sleeves. My dog is going crazy in the other room. I'll re-sleeve. I suppose I'll re-sleeve them after I've tested more. So the other versions of this deck. So my friend Rob went and played this at locals last night. Went 2-2 with the Mitsurugi build. I like the Mitsurugis. I like the different synergies it has. I just kind of tried to stay away from Mitsurugis, but arguably Mitsurugis is definitely the more budget-friendly option in comparison. And the fact that they are rituals gives you those abilities to tribute them off to get more advantage. So yeah. We'll shuffle this up, we'll cut up, we'll do another test hand, going first with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't know why this loves my hand, but sure. We go rights off first. Rights off will then allow us to add unicorn. You summon down unicorn, and this is where rehearsal works out really nicely actually, because if I want to get unicorn on the field, I can do. So I can use Fenrir. So we use unicorn's effect. We'll grab ourselves the birth. We'll activate the birth. We'll activate the flare, reveal this in the hand. This will then allow you to grab rehearsal. And then you've got two options. Is I can technically discard the Fenrir. And by discarding the Fenrir, well, it technically tributes. So I could tribute off the flare if I wanted to, and that will give me one stack for later on to give me some advantage, which is fine. But if I tribute off the Fenrir, at least I've got the ability to go birth, bring back Fenrir. So I've got these both interacting with my opponent already. Then activate rehearsal. Tribute one off, so I can tribute off either of these if I want to. But we'll tribute off the flare. We add a Bianca Viso and we'll add a Malabaresme. So Bianca Viso and Malabaresme, wherever it may be. There we go. Add the Malabaresme. Activate Malabaresme, get us 2, and the 2 that I always go for is Fiends and Diabolo. Tribute off both of these for Bianca Viso. Chainik 1, Chainik 2, Chainik 3. Grab ourselves the spell in the form of the Operatics. Grab ourselves the trap card. I'm going to go get my dog in 2 seconds. We'll get Soiree or New Face. I've tributed off 3 with this. I get to draw 2 off of the Bianca Viso, so we'll shuffle this up in a second. So we'll draw 2. Super Poly and the Coronary Confrontation. And then, obviously, I can set either one of these, both of these. I can activate this if I wanted to, but I haven't got anything else that's going to tribute, so I just get no benefit from this. So we'll set the Super Poly, and then end phase, Ritual, Fusion, and Exes was tributed. So 1, 2, 3, set the Forbidden Droplet, and then you just pass your turn, and then you've got everything you need now. I've got Super Poly with plenty of discard fodder. I've got a Unicorn Banish, a Fenrir Banish, a Unicorn Banish. The Bianca Viso is not getting me anywhere. It's not allowing me to tribute anything. But I could very easily just add a Bianca Viso for my deck with the Soiree. And then I can tribute off 2. So it's not really that bad. And this is what I'm trying to say with these, is these become free fodder. I should have used a Fenrir to search as well, by the way. But these just become free fodder because you tribute off one of them, you always bring one back because Birth will always come back. And if you tribute with Bianca Viso, it doesn't matter what type you tributed, you just draw cards equal to the number of monsters tributed. So if I were to tribute both of these, I still draw 2 cards. And then Birth just brings them back. So, and not to mention as well that Planet Rice-Off gives all of these are going to be going up by at least 300 because you've got 3 different types. And if you really, really wanted to, and you wanted to tribute more off, in the extra deck, this is why people are playing Nerva, the Power Patron of Creation. So, must either be Fusion Summoned or Specialed from the extra deck in Defense Vision by tributing 3 monsters with different types. You can only special summon it once per turn this way. And then while this card is in the while there is a card in a field zone, being the Planet Rice-Off, this card can't be destroyed by card effects. And then once per turn, when you activate an Archmage monster effect, which you're never going to do, quick effect, you can make the activated effect become destroy all cards your opponent trial. So it's basically just a free that can technically, with the field spell in play, not be destroyed by card effect, but it also is just a way of tributing off 3 more. So if you were to go Malabaresme, and then you had to normal summon down like an Ash Blossom, for example, you can then use the Power Patron to tribute all 3 of those, and then go from there. As long as they're different types, which would be, yeah, Beast Warrior. Oh, wait. With different types. Oh, you'd have to get one from the deck. Okay, so it'd be 1 from the field, 1 from the deck. I think the only one from the deck has to be... Yeah, the old Beast Warrior. I didn't realise that. It would have to be the Bianca Viso. But you tribute off the Bianca Viso, tribute off the monster you summon from the extra deck, which will probably end up being something like the Fiends, because the Fiends is the one that gets you the spell card, and then off you go. So that's why you play Nerva. So yeah. I actually don't mind it. I quite like it, to be honest. Do I think Cool Tune is tier 0? I don't think Cool Tune is tier 0. Like, I watched an Australian stream this morning, and they featured Cool Tune twice, and both times they got beaten by Branded. So, I do have Cool Tunes here. I will test them in a minute. They're cool, but it just has such a target on its back. And the biggest difference with Cool Tune as well is people have played them in Master Duel. People can play them in Master Duel without having to spend a huge fortune. So, like, people will know how to play against the deck. It's nowhere near as big of an issue as it once was. So, shuffle these up. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to go get my dog. I'll shuffle these up. Just leave that there. And then we'll do another clown test hand. And then I can either go back to Red Dragon Archfiend or I can do Cool Tunes. So. You're overtired. You're overtired. Come on.
She just screamed.
Yeah.
That's all I does. She dragged her out.
Come on. Come on. Look, I'm trying to play Yu-Gi-Oh with the people. My dog is currently... Yeah, Power Vice is like... insane. It went from a £7 card and Red Dragon Archfiend was looking like uber budget. And now it's gone to like £20 a copy, which, again, I'm hoping someone in this chat, by the time I finish this stream, will be able to tell me exactly why. Because as it currently stands, I can't figure out why Vice Dragon has been bought out. I can't figure it out for the life of me. So, if someone has the answer, please do let me know. Alright, okay. Right, Clown Crew, let's go again. One more time. So, third test stand. Rehearsal, perfect. Oh, Birth, not so great, unless I see a cash tier monster to go with it. Super Poly, Flare, and Matinee Operatics. Okay, so this is quite a nice cash tier. Like, this is the only cash tier of brick card we play. It's still kind of good to activate, I guess, because then if your opponent activates a spell, you banish from their graveyard, which is still nice. So, let's go with... Reveal Flare, I guess. Grab us... I mean, I don't need to, but if I grab us Malabarisme, I'm pretty much covered from everything. I could afford to discard the Birth, because the Birth is the least effective thing for me right now, so we'll get rid of that. We can then go... I'll keep Flare in the... Do I want to keep Flare in the hand? Dog's gone straight back to my partner anyway. Activate Malabarisme. Malabarisme will give me 2, being Fiend and Diabolo. I mean, in theory, actually, I could have put... I mean, there are different ways to play this. If I wanted to keep Birth, I could have put Crew to the graveyard. I don't need any more spells, so I wouldn't bring out the Diabolo. I'd actually bring out Meteor. And then you'd go Rehearsal, Tribute off Meteor. Grab you Bianca Viso, and then we'll get New Face, because I'll get the other trap card. I don't need to get the trap card right now. Yeah, so actually then, because I've got all the spells, I wouldn't need Fiends. So Fiends would stay, Diabolo would go there. Effective Meteor would then let me add back the Flare. This would go here. I've tributed 1 in the form of the Diabolo. We would then be able to go Rehearsal, tribute off Diabolo for Flare. Diabolo would then grab you the other trap card. I suppose this is the only downside, is if I draw the cash tiers off of... Well, yeah, if I draw the cash tiers off of the Bianca Viso, I don't really get to go anywhere. Activate Matinee. Matinee can summon out the Fiends. Tribute both of these off for Bianca Viso. Chainik 1, Chainik 2. Fiends would then grab me... Sets me a spell card. I mean, I've already got Rehearsal. We'll set Rehearsal for the follow-up. Bianca Viso will draw 2. 1, 2. This is where the issue kind of comes into play a little bit. She would activate Birth, and I need a way of getting Unicorn to the grave, which at this moment in time I don't have. And then we would set Operatics. We would set... actually, maybe you don't activate Birth then. set the new phase, set the operations. Then during the end phase, I'm going to be able to draw 4 cards. You kind of want the Super Poly set, but anyway, draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Still in the end phase, right? I can still do this. Still in the end phase. Activate. Oh no, because it's a then set, isn't it? So I'd have to set this, which I think is the better option. And then I've got discard, which ironically 2, 4, 6. I have to discard the unicorn, which is fine. But then during my opponent's turn. It's still, I still like this though. Like the rehearsal's probably the one thing that's clogging me up. But start like early during the draw phase, activate this, standby phase, put the 3 back, draw 1 more. And then all you need to do is clear a space off with Soiree, Super Poly or Rehearsal. And then your Purge is live. And then you've got the Bianca Viso to negate 2. You've got Ash to basically be an Ash. So, yeah. Right, sorry, I'm just trying to catch back up. How about new support for Red Dragon Archfiend? Yeah, I've got new Red Dragon Archfiend to one side, so I can do that in a second as well. I'm just kind of testing these to kind of work out the kinks for tomorrow, because tomorrow is the locals. I'm going to take one of these too, and then kind of go from there, basically. I think it's because of free. Yeah, but I mean, like, with no offense, but like a buyout on a card like that. I mean, it's £7. Don't get me wrong, £7 was a great price for that card. I was like, how is that only £7? But not everyone's going to be playing Red Dragon Archfiend. So, I mean, like, it shouldn't have gone from £7 to £20. It should have already started a little bit higher. So it's kind of crazy. Is this a different deck than the one in the video? Yeah, it's a different deck. All I've done. So at this moment in time, what I did was I took out some breakers. So I took out Mulchummy Furlos and I took out 3 Imperm and 1 Forbidden Droplet and 1 Fallen in the Virtuous. And I've put in the Kashtira package, which is 2 Fenrir, 3 Unicorn, 1 Birth and 2 Planet Rice-Offs. But arguably I'll probably cut the Rice-Off down maybe. Yeah. I can't do trains yet because it's not built. There is a stack of train cards to one side ready to go. So I've done Hekahan Chimera with the new support. That will be dropping next week. The video's done and ready to go. I might even drop it tomorrow, to be honest. It depends on... actually, yeah, it probably will be dropped tomorrow. I've got Rockets ready to go and I've also got the Hekahans ready to go. So one of those 2 will drop tomorrow and then go from there. Yeah, I mean, I kind of looked at it and I was like, £7 a copy. I want to build. I want to play Red Dragon Archfiend. So I was like, £7 a copy. It's a no-brainer. I'll grab it, and then after the fact will be when I will be after the fact was I was like, that'll be when I probably upgrade into Starlights. Anyway, so this one's going to be cool tunes. So 1, god damn it, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I mean, this sounds pretty good for going first, I guess. Activate Overtake. Let's get our Rico directly from the deck. Rico then grabs us our Rotary. I can reveal Rotary for an additional normal summon of a tuner, which will be Mix. Mix can then grab me a Q. Keep in mind, I haven't used my main normal summon yet. This is why this deck's just absolutely absurd. So we do this. And then we get to Synchro. This is where it gets so stupid. We get to Synchro, Rotary, and Rico to go into Trapmaker. Go Chaining 1, Trackmaker. Chaining 2 will be Rotary. Rotary will look at our opponent's hand and then add a spell. Or a trap. It's entirely up to you. But we'll add a second Cool Tune Synchro. Trackmaker will then let us add anything. So Trackmaker will let us add the field spell, wherever it may be. Where's the field spell? JJ Cool Tune. And we're on 1, 2, 3. We're only on 3 summons at this moment in time as well. Guess we then just go our actual normal summon for Q. Q's effect. I mean, I don't think people are still playing Red Nova, but I personally still quite like it. It kind of clears the deck out a little bit, but I'm not opposed if people want to get rid of it. So then currently what we're on, we're now in Nibiru territory, but we still have an additional normal summon of through our JJ Cool Tune, and we've got 2 Cool Tune synchros. So yeah, pretty nasty right here. Because then what you want to do now is you'll then go put these 2 together. Reason you do that is that's going to get you into yeah, I mean, you kind of have to, really, don't you? This gets you into the Zarlan. And now all I need to do is get this off the field and I get a Rico, which is pretty mad. So I can activate JJ Cool Tune. This has to go by Synchro Material, doesn't it? Yeah. So there's no Synchro free as of yet. You could play one if you wanted to, but I'm not going to. You can then use JJ Cool Tune, true it off mix. I'm not sure what you'd really go. Oh, yeah, and then Q stacked the top deck of your opponent, which is pretty nasty as well. What do I want to go for, I guess, is the question. I don't really want to synchro into a 4, because I've already done that. Just seems like a bit of a waste. Maybe I was worrying about getting to Zarlan. I suppose you wouldn't actually need to go into Zarlan at this point, right? Because you would already know if your opponent's got Nibiru. So if your opponent has Nibiru, then they're going to Nibiru you here. And you're like, right, okay, cool. I've got Cool Tune Synchro and additional normal off the back of JJ. So with that in mind, I guess, what do we go for? Loudness War is doable. I mean, Loudness War is doable. I would go 1, 2, 3. You'd have to go all of these. Gets you into Loudness War. And then you'd be able to go Chainlink 1 of Red Nova, Chainlink 2 of Q. Red Nova will then get you a Rico from the deck. I've already used Rico's effect. But if you're not worried about Nibiru, what you're going to get the benefit of now is I can set this. I can choose to hold one back if I want to, or set the other. And then just during my opponent's turn, what's going to happen is I can go activate Cool Tune Synchro, add. We'll add a clip. And then I've got Loudness War that can replicate, add in a spell and look at my opponent's hand. Destroy a spell or trap, destroy a monster, or stack the top deck if I wanted to. But then I also have resolve the Cool Tune Synchro, synchro these 2, go into a Zarlian, trigger the bounce effect of this and the pop effect of this. And then you've also got the other option of going for a second Cool Tune Synchro should you need to, because for some unknown reason it's not once per turn. So you'd ash your opponent. You can then use Cool Tune Synchro, add a... well, kind of add whatever you want to, really. But if we add a 3 to our hand, doesn't matter what one we add. Let's go with Q. And then all you need to do is your opponent does something. You go, okay, cool, summon down Clip. Clip then synchros. Goes into Crackle. Crackle. On Synchro Stone, you look at your opponent's extra deck, and if you do, banish face out a card from it until the end phase. Then you make this card gain attack equal to its own. And then if this Synchro Summon card is sent to the grave, you get to special summon this card. Then you get to apply this effect. Look at your opponent's extra deck and banish face up 2 cards from it until the end phase. So basically just ripping free. And your clip's going to do 1 anyway. So you get to a random 1 and then a chosen 1 off of Crackle. Yeah, and obviously you'd want to try and save the Cool Tune Synchro for when they activate something, because you'll go Chainlink 1 their thing. You go, okay, cool. Chainlink 2 Cool Tune Synchro. And if they've got no response, you get to go Chainlink 3 Zarlian to negate the first chain. So it kind of always forces them to have to chain another card so that you can't negate their Chainlink 1, basically. And not to mention, if we bring Enneacraft into the fold, woo! Okay. Enneacraft's just going to be a chain killer the entire time. So as much as I enjoyed Cool Tunes prior, I don't think it's going to be anywhere near the level I think a lot of people are expecting it to be. I think it's just got such a big target on its back that it's going to cause it so many issues. Okay, so a bit of a... I like Rev cards, but I think Zedlock also has great RDA videos. Zedlock. Let's have a look. Wonder if I've watched some of their videos yet. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I haven't really looked into these yet. I try to stick with the here and now. They did one 5 months ago. Yeah, like I'm still working my way through. I'm just working my way through different versions at this moment in time. I know a couple of people want to see me do Centurion. I like to play the pure version first, and then build off the back of it. And then after I build off the back of it, I'll be like, right, okay, cool, that was nice, or that could have done better, or you know, what. Okay, so this is the deck that I'm probably the least familiar with right now. So let's give this one another go, shall we? So after another decent shuffle, I haven't profiled this one yet because I'm still working out the kinks. There's still going to be stuff that I'm not entirely happy with. So it's all part of the testing phase. Put the clown crew up to the top there. I don't think I can zoom out anymore. I can zoom out a little bit. There you go. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, we've got a 1-card combo in the form of the Soul Resonator, but then my issue is, like, this is the one thing I'm not the biggest fan of with Red Dragon Archfiend, is that it's so susceptible. So if I go normal Summon Soul Resonator, and my opponent goes Imperm, Veiler, Ash, heck, even if they used Harmonia on me, like, the deck just doesn't do anything, because they'll go, right, okay, cool, well, I get the ad. I mean, if I don't get the ad, I'm just falling back on these 3 cards here, right? Anyway, practice makes perfect, so let's practice this combo and see if I can get it right again, shall we? So, Crimson Resonator adds Bone Archfiend. How Bone Archfiend isn't a foil yet, I don't know. Jeez, like, this definitely deserves to be like a... Can you imagine if it's in the tournament pack 1 as like a super rare? That'd be really cool. Bone Archfiend. Do I need Resonator Call? Probably not, so I can afford to discard that. Send the summon down the Bone Archfiend. Bone Archfiend's effect sends from deck to grave. This time we want it to send... I will get to Crimson Gaia in a second, but you send Vision Resonator. There we go. And then Vision Resonator gets you Crimson Gaia. And then you synchro these two together, because this is now add up to 8, which gets you into your Crimson King. Crimson King then lets you add a card that mentions RDA from the deck to the hand. So we're going to add our Speak of the Devil, Power Vice Dragon. And then you get to special one down the Vice Dragon. Vice Dragon then lets you grab a Resonator, which will grab you... Oh, maybe this is it. Maybe it's to play 3 Vice Dragons, so that you play 3 Vice Dragons and 1 Synchron Resonator. Because then you go special on Vice Dragon, because you control no monsters. Grab Synchron Resonator, special one down the Synchron Resonator. Synchro these two together. I mean, no, because that's only a 6. It's not a 7, so... Synchro these two together to Red Rising. Chain it 1 Red Rising, chain it 2 Synchron Resonator. Synchron Resonator adds back Vision. Red Rising summons back Synchron Resonator. Special summon down Vision Resonator. Synchro into Bestial Dispatter. Synchro these two into a 7. If you're worried about Nibiru, you go to Zarlian, but you don't really have anything to chain for the Zarlian to do anything. So more times than not, you're just going to go into the Crimson Blade Dragon. Crimson Blade Dragon's effect and Synchron Resonator's effect. Synchron Resonator effect adds you back your Soul Resonator. Crimson Blade Dragon grabs you a monster that can't be normal summoned or set, that is level 8 or higher. So you get to grab yourself your Lubellion. Discard the Lubellion for the Magnamut. Magnamut then summons itself down by banishing Vision Resonator. Trigger the Magnamut's effects as searching the end phase. Tribute this off, bring back Lubellion. Lubellion then places either Regained, Etude, or Beast face up on the field. So we go for Etude because of the Floodgate-esque effect. And then you can either keep your Bestial Dispatter as a disruption here, or you would bring back the Vision Resonator, synchro these two together, you upgrade into a 9, which will be your Red Archfiend Abyss. Activate Crimson Resonator, effect to Crimson Gaia, effect to this, grab you your King's Resonance. So for those of you unfamiliar with how King's Resonance works, is if your opponent has summoned 10 or more times, your opponent cannot activate card or effects in response to this card's activation. But what you would do is, if your opponent special summoned once, you activate this and special summon back a dark synchro monster from the grave or banishment. If they've summoned 3 or more times, every Red Dragon Archfiend you control... is it in sequence? Yeah, and it is in sequence. So 3 or more, every Red Dragon Archfiend monster in your main monster zone is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. And then 5 or more, you change all your opponent's monsters to face down defense position. So they need to summon 5 times for you to basically Book of Eclipse their field, like Book of Moon their field, their entire field. But technically you can bring back any of these, which is... when your opponent activates a effect, you get to quick effect banish this card you control, special one of Red Dragon Archfiend from the extra deck. And if you do it as a tap becomes so you also it can't destroy your opponent's card effects. So technically what you could do is you could use King's Resonance to bring back the Crimson King. Crimson King tags out into the Red Dragon Archfiend. Like, why does this not tag out? This should have been allowed to tag out and negate. That would have been so good. Is there any way to get another tune into the field? I mean, I guess there is. Because technically in the end phase you resolve the Magnamut, which will grab your Druid Swarm. And then Druid Swarm can banish. I wonder what I can get though. Because Druid Swarm can banish from the graveyard. Which you might want to do in the end phase actually. At least that will keep your Dispat alive. So you'd banish one from the graveyard. So let's banish Red Rising. Summon down Druid Swarm. And then during either player's turn, after it resolves, synchro summon a synchro monster. Oh no, sorry, you need to banish one, don't we? Do I want to synchro into a 7 or an 8? Question mark. Oh, actually, you can go straight into Chaos Angel, right? Because what you'd do is you'd banish the Bone Archfiend, right? And then during your opponent's turn, you'd use this. Oh no, it's not. Oh, why do I think this is a quick effect to revive? Ignore all of that. So you banish whatever, you get Druid Swarm. But then I don't have this monster here. Maybe the Etude is literally just there as the Floodgate S card, I guess. Either way, one card gets you, within reason, this or this. So, I mean, that's a pretty impressive end field from one card, to be honest. So, I do think that the other hybrids are better, though. I really want to see how the Elf Note build works, and whether it's just like Elf Notes that play the Crimson King, or if it's actually an actual deck that works. Would be really nice. You want to see Clown Crew again? Sure. I have no idea when the new ban list is coming out. Not at all. Let's go back to Clown Crew. I think everyone loves a bit of Clown Crew. This is just such a good deck right now. So fun. So, just to reiterate, I've shown you guys the pure Breaker version. You can play the pure hand trap version. My friend played Mitsu the other night, and they went 2-2. The version that I'm currently working on, which is this one here, is the Kashtira version that I quite like. I think it's a bit more aggressive. And then the other version you can play is the control version. But I quite like the idea of siding those cards in. Like, once I know I'm going first, siding a Vanities, and just be like, cool, let's go. So, we'll shuffle up, we'll draw up. So this is now Clown Crew. 1, 2. Now I just need a route to get to my Bian Canviso, and there we go. Unicorn, Culinary Confrontation, and Clown Crew Flare. So we'll activate the Culinary Confrontation. We're going to give our opponent the Pastel over there. And we're going to give ourselves the Passonnière. There we go. Passonnière's effect is going to trigger, and that's going to grab us the Flare. So if you didn't already have Flare, you do now. Oh, I don't know why I did that so early. Now I've completely locked my Unicorn out. Rewind, special summon down Unicorn. Unicorn's effect, Chain Culinary Confrontation. There you go, that's how you do it. Summon the 2, resolve Unicorn, grab you Birth. This is why it's a little bit new and worth testing this package. And then we grabbed our second Flare. There we go. Now we can activate the Birth, and like if I wanted to, even without Flare, I can just Bianca Viso, Tribute 2 and draw 2, which is still pretty good, but we'll go Flare, Reveal, add Rehearsal, discard a Flare, activate Rehearsal, tribute off, I mean I can tribute off this, the pass on, yeah. Grab us Malabaresme and his second Bianca Viso. Go, shuffle up. Activate Malabaresme. This is what I quite like about the Malabaresme, is if I don't need anything, I don't need to treat off both these monsters. So I'd probably go for Fiends, and let's go for Meteor. Just so my opponent can't respond when I tribute summon. So we get rid of this. And then we can go Bianca Viso, summons down, tribute these two off. These would then trigger off Chenik 1, Bianca Viso to draw, and then Fiends to grab me a spell. Spell will grab will be Operatics. And then again, this is what I mean where you get more options, is now that I've protected my Bianca Viso, so my draws are not going to be negated by anything. Not that they can imperm me because I've just given them a monster, but maybe they want to try and... They can't ash me because I'll chain block it. Maybe they want to try and... I don't know. Veiler, I suppose, is the closest thing they can get. I've blocked that. And then I can use Birth to bring back Unicorn. And if I want to, I can use Rehearsal to tribute off my Unicorn. So... Not that I have to, but we use Rehearsal. Tribute off the Meteor, now that it's done its job. Summon down the Flare. The reason we do that is that we have tributed off a Xyz, a Synchro, and a Pendulum, so we're going to draw 3 during the end phase. I mean, there's no need to get... Well, the Flare on the field gives me tribute fodder for the Bianca Viso. We'll set the Super Poly. I can also use the Operatics to get me another monster if I want to. So if I'm like, you know what, I really want to protect my second Bianca Viso, we'll use the Operatics to summon out the Meteor. And then during the end phase, we get to draw 3, right? Yes, we draw 3. 1, 2, 3. Set 1, set the Purge. Yeah. And then kind of go from there. But during our opponent's turn, I've got Unicorn that gets to look at their extra deck, take one apart from them, and if they activate something on me prior to that, Unicorn would have taken another one from them. I've got Super Polymerization. Oh, this isn't even here, is it? I've got Super Polymerization. I've got Purge. If they activate something, I can banish 3 from the graveyard. I've then got the ability of this Bianca Viso to tribute summon. So I could, once Unicorn's done its effect, I could tribute off Flare and Bianca Viso. I would then be able to use Flare to book a Moon, a monster. Bianca Viso to draw 2 or negate 2, whatever you want it to go for. And then I've tributed off a Ritual monster. So I'm guaranteed to get at least 1 draw during the end phase of the Matinee Operatics. So, yeah, I really like Clown Crew. I'm so happy they're all low rarity. I thought Bianca Viso would be like an Ultra. But yeah, I'm actually really happy that they're low rarity. I've just got to like tidy up my extra deck a bit now. I don't think they're all on the same sleeves. I think there's a couple that aren't on the Witchcrafter sleeves. So I have to change that up. Just get my... There we go. So, I'm going to de-sleeve these and put these in nicer sleeves because these sleeves are a bit ganky now. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, if you do have any questions, by all means, fire away while I do this. Because unless you find decks being re-sleeved as therapeutic, this is probably going to be very, very droll for you. I'll also take a look at what side deck cards I want to play in this. I'll tell you what, as I sleeve this up as well, I'll also lay them out so you can see what I've got, but it'll be a bit messy. I've also got to double check my oversleeves as well, actually, to see what oversleeves I've got for this deck. I do like the extended arts of Purge. They look really nice. And I'm kind of happy I got them in Ultra as well because they just look really clean. You can actually just see the details. But regardless. Ugh, that's a bit... There we go. Birth. I kind of like the Kashtira package. I'm not sure. I mean, I've definitely cut down. I did notice on my previous test hand that there was a lot. Like, I found that there were times where I was missing the body to tribute. I've also got to build the side deck for this. Would I go for Kaijus? Probably not. I'm trying to think what I would go for. If not, like, because you kind of need to break fields a little bit. I suppose, actually, maybe I don't need to worry about breaking fields. Maybe just for, like, going first and stuff, I'd play, like, Warnings and Strikes or Iron Thunders. Or technically, with Bianca Viso, you could also play Dragon's Mind, which is kind of funny because you could draw Dragon's Mind during the end phase and then set the Dragon's Mind. And then you can also recycle it. So maybe Dragon's Mind's not the worst idea for this type of deck. I suppose it also counts because I'm playing Unicorn as well. I've got another monster that's 2,500 attack. That could be quite useful for me. Yeah, so that could be worthwhile. Yeah, there's not really a lot you can do about drawing multiple hand interactions either, really. Like, if you draw multiples, you just draw multiples. It's kind of like, you're not going to play... I mean, unless you wanted to build a deck that played 2 Ashes, 2 Perulias, 2 Fuas, 2 Bells, which is doable. Yeah. Do I think Regenesis can work with Clown? It can, yeah. Like, because you've got so much easy access to Clown, revealing them for Clown, like, revealing Regenesis for Clown is pretty funny. And the fact that none of them come from the main deck as well is also pretty funny, because then it's like, it doesn't clash with... it doesn't clash with the restriction. And this is something that I've been asked a couple of times as well. Like, how can you still use monsters' effects when they're in the graveyard? And when the card says you can't activate effects that were special summoned from the deck or extra deck. Because quite simply, when they hit the graveyard, they don't know where they've been special summoned from. All they know is that they've been special summoned correctly or not. Which is why, you know, you can send monsters from the extra deck directly to the graveyard, and you can trigger their send effects, but you won't be able to bring them back because they haven't been summoned successfully, but they have still met that condition of being sent to the graveyard. So, yeah, that's something I've been asked a couple of times now already, which is fine because it is a little bit of a... It's one of those weird loopholes where if you don't know about... Like, if you haven't experienced it before and been told about it before, you're going to be like, what is this? Why is that card so worded weirdly and confusing? So, yeah. Basically, don't worry about it. Like, no one can tell you otherwise. Like, this whole deck would crumble if that, like, little loophole wasn't in place. Like, the whole deck just wouldn't make much sense at all. So, yes. Try and finish. I'm going to have to try and find more of these sleeves. I think they're called, like, petrol colour. I'm going to need to try and find more of them so I can build my side deck for this as well. Just in case this is the one that I go for. And then I've got to update the Red Dragon Archering deck as well. Because if I don't play that, one of my friends might play that as well. And gives them... means I can get both decks. Like a double whammy for like the local experience. Because then I get to play a deck that I want to play. And then... I mean, I want to play either of these. But whatever one I get, I'll be happy with. No, I haven't done Doomsday because Doomsday aren't ready. I can't find... I mean, I don't have to play it, but like Fearonkin Regulus with Spriggan's Merrymaker and Sargus, I quite like, but I know other people are playing the Gar Magician and the Utopic Draco. Is it Utopic Draco Future? Which I don't mind that one as well. I quite like that, which might be something I need to try out. So, what have I got? I've got 4 cards left to sleeve up, but only 3 sleeves, which is depressing. But nearly there. I'm not sure how I feel about multiple Planet Rice-Offs, but there are scenarios where having Planet Rice-Off in rotation is actually more beneficial for you. I don't think there's any saving these sleeves. These 2 sleeves are pretty ganky. So, trying to see if any of the cards nearby are in the same sleeve. I think this is 40. 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, I'm doing this. I'm doing it now. pretty sure this is 40. Still got to find 15 cards for the side deck. You probably play like, I don't know if you'd play 3 vanities. Like 3 vanities could be pretty gnarly. Yep, that's 39 there, so 40th card of this one here, and I've just got to find a sleeve for it. Oh, there should be one here. How long does it take to find one petrol sleeve? Ah! There she blows. There you go. One of my finest, not so finest. Oh, petrol sleeves. There we go. Boom. Now the question is, do I have enough clean over sleeves? And are they all from the same batch? Probably not. So I need to do this more often as well, is I need to clear out all my ganky sleeves. Because then it'll make doing something like this a heck of a lot easier. That's just a penny sleeve, that's not even a sleeve. Sometimes you can tell by the feel. There you go. Definitely tell by the look as well. Some just have more frosted glass than the, like a frosted background than the others. I prefer to double sleeve my decks, but I do find that the double sleeves get just as manky as the normal sleeves as well. So kind of comes down to how accessible are what sleeves. Like, if you can get double sleeves from the right place, you're probably paying less for the double sleeves than you are for the single, like the sleeves in them. And then it also comes down to like how important the sleeves on the inside are. Definitely don't think that was 40 sleeves, put it that way. What do you do if going second? What, with Clown Crew? If you give me 2 seconds, I'll show you. Like, with the build that I play, like, it's very aggressive. Because, like, I've got Super Poly, I'm playing Ash, I'm playing Purge. If I was to put Ghost Spell in, you'd play Ghost Spell. But then you've also got Droplet as well. I've got the Fallen and the Virtuous. So you ultimately, you're either playing a range, which I do, which is like 2 Fallen and the Virtuous, 2 Forbidden Droplet. Or you're playing like 3 of one and none of the other, which I am semi-tempted by. I'm semi-tempted to, because I'm playing Cash Tiers, to max out on Forbidden Droplet, which would be pretty funny. That's a ganky sleeve. I'll show you in 2 seconds what a test stand of this deck. Like, the Cash Tiers are going to make such a big difference, because you would be able to go, cool, if you start off with something like Fenrir, you go special on down Fenrir, and then straight away it puts your opponent on edge, because they're like, right, if I activate anything, Fenrir's just going to target and banish it. And you're like, yep. And then if you get rid of Fenrir and you let me resolve searching off of the back of a Fenrir, I've either searched another Fenrir or I've searched out a Unicorn. And it's like, okay, cool. I dare you. Get rid of my Fenrir. So, and that's why I prefer this version of deck, and I prefer to side into a Vanities, because, like, if I can protect my Vanities with stuff like Dragon's Mind or Iron Thunders if you want to play them, or both, entirely up to you. I'm not saying you'd play this deck as a blind second, but what I like about this is if my opponent does break my field and they can't OTK me, because I've drawn so much advantage, there's a good chance I'll break my opponent's field on the return. So, is this the same? Yeah. It's a shame they won't allow lamination. I think, like, the issue with lamination is it's not all even. I suppose with lamination though, like, the one thing I've always wanted to do is I've always kind of wanted to have my decks all in the same sleeves. But the issue with that is, specifically for me, is there'll be a time where I'm like, oh, I need to find this card. But I don't, like, if everything's in the same sleeve, I'm not going to be able to find it. Whereas if they're in different sleeves, like if I'm like, right, okay, well, the last time I played that deck, they were in pink sleeves, for example. But like, right, okay, all I would do is find the pink sleeves, and then I'll have what I need. So, you know, pros and cons. Just bear me 2 seconds. I'm still trying to find enough sleeves to finish sleeving up the clown crew. Just found a lot of my side deck cards as well. I find it funny that from testing clowns are barely impacted by any hand traps except Ash on Malabarismo. Yeah, this is why I quite like the idea of the Cashteras, because it's like, if your opponent doesn't know what you're playing, and this is what you're going to get early days as well, is if your opponent doesn't know what Malabarismo does, and your opponent hasn't watched my videos, just because I've shown you that Malabarismo, like, you can pretty much afford to let everything else resolve. If you Ash the Malabarismo, that's really going to hurt them. But that's what I quite like about the Cashteras, is the Cashteras still give you that ability to put a body on the field. And I think that's why the Mitsurugis are so good as well, is because you kind of want to Ash the Habakuri. And you're like, cool, Ash the Habakuri, activate Malabarismo. Or you Ash the Malabarismo, and you're like, okay, cool, activate the Mitsurugi Ritual, or activate Habakuri. And then straight away you're like, ah, damn. So, yeah, I think that there is a lot of potential there. So, the double sleeves that I use on my my most expensive decks are the Dragon Shield ones. The double sleeves that I use on like everydays are ones that my friend makes or gets made, and yeah, he does them at a pretty good price, so it's like I can just pay. Like, so I quite like, for my better decks, I'll use Dragon Shield sleeves, like decks I actually play with, because the Dragon Shield sleeves are a little bit stronger, so they're a bit sturdier. So yeah. And then on some decks, so for example, my Red Dragon Archery deck currently have the Ultra Pro matte ones on it. But I mean, like, if I'm spending like, what, £7 a pack on KMC white sleeves and £7 a pack on Dragon Shield sleeves, but I'm only paying like £4 to £5 on double sleeves from a friend, it's like, well, that's a no-brainer, because then if I'm spending £7 a time to replace my sleeves, I can just spend £5 to replace them every time. It kind of makes no difference. My entire locus is already building to stop my deck. I'm no top player, just build decks they hate. I mean, I can very easily see how Clown Crew could be built to be degenerate. Like I've seen the Vanity's Fiend and Vanity's Ruler plays. There was actually one on the Australian stream earlier that they were playing Zaborg the Mega Monarch, and that makes sense to me, because like, you don't care about your extra deck. There's probably like, when I say you don't care about your extra deck, right? If you're playing the Passanier engine, you play this, you probably want to play 2 of each of these, right? You play this. If you're not playing Super Poly, Fawn and the Virtuous, you don't need to worry about all of these. You don't really need to play that. You play that. So you open up 2, 4, 6, 7 spaces, right? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, why have I got 16? What? Well, I've got to cut one from here, so let's cut that for now. If you're not playing Super Poly, if you're not playing Fawn and Virtuous, you don't need to worry about these 2. If you're not playing Super Poly, you don't need to worry about these 3 here. You'd still play Garura, right? So then what that opens up is, that opens up 5 for you to play with your Zaborg the Mega Monarch, which would be, you could play a Mega if you wanted to. You could then also play Spriggan's Tri-Brigade Kit, because the draw 1, put 1 back. You can then play Elder Entity and Tis for a destruction. You can then play like Skull Guardian. Like, you've got a couple of different options you can play. So I do need to sort out my extra deck sleeves for tomorrow as well, though. So I will go through those in a second. Anyway, there was, you die to draw or impulses. I mean, impulse is a bit annoying, but again, that's why I want to play like the Cashteras or the Mitsurugis. Draw is an issue. Yeah, draw, like that's just a fact. But Use Ruler as a Borg exclusively as last resource. I find the Hunt Track Troll. Yeah, which is why I don't mind Droll so much. Which is why I'm like, okay, cool. Well, you hit me with Droll, I'll set you up with Breakers. Like that's probably a better way of doing it. But anyway, let's show you going second with the new sleeve. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, well, we'll activate Purge, which means if I see the Passonier off the top of my deck, I'm going to be so annoyed. We'll draw for turn. It's not Passonier. I can still activate Unicorn. So start off by going draw phase, Fawn and the Virtuous. Send Albion. So that's one like resource looped. And then you go special and down Unicorn. Unicorn's effect to search. And they're like, right, okay, fine. And you'll go for Birth, which basically means that Unicorn becomes sticky because you can't get rid of it. Well, within reason. Activate Birth. So if they activate a spell and they've got 3 cards in the graveyard, I can banish 3. Yeah, I mean, Mitsu and Cash do have bricks. I mean, that's kind of it. But then what else are you playing that... What else would you play in those positions that aren't considered bricks in multiples? Is the question, really. Cool. And then we can go Rehearsal. Tribute off Flare. Grab us Bianca Viso and grab us Malabaresme because Malabaresme is crazy good. Malabaresme. Put that to the graveyard. Activate Malabaresme. The irony is as well, actually, if this gets is this for the rest of the turn? Special on 2 Clown Crew from the deck and or extra deck, ignoring so many conditions to the end of the next turn after it resolves. So if it doesn't resolve, I'm not locked. Yeah, Rehearsal doesn't lock you either. So technically, if they ash the Malabaresme, this is where it can get kind of funny, is you could technically normal summon down the Bianca Viso without tribute because of your Birth, and then just overlay into a rank 7. I'm not saying that's what I'm going to do, but something you can do. Let's go with Meteor, and let's go with the Diabolo. No, not Diabolo, I want Fiends. Yeah, I want Fiends. Then I will summon down the Bianca Viso. We'll tribute off our Fiends and Unicorn. Go Chenik 1, Bianca Viso. Do not activate card or effects when you tribute summon a monster. So Bianca Viso and Fiends. Fiends would grab us. Malabaresme is in the graveyard. Fiends will grab us the Operatics. Draw 2 off of our Bianca Viso. So 1, 2. Ugh, sure. And then we can go Birth, bring back. And then if I want to, I can go Rehearsal. Banish, Tribute, Summon Flare. Meteor, lets you add one from the grave back. Let's add back a Flare. Battle phase 25, 25, 500. Main phase 2. Turn Flare into Link Karibo. End phase, we'll set the Soiree. End phase, I get to draw 3, I believe. Was a Flare tributed? It's definitely a Synchro, definitely a Xyz, and I'm pretty sure I tributed a Flare, so I get to draw 3. I keep forgetting the Matinee, man. I should have used Matinee. I can get piercing battle damage, but then if I get Fiends out, what does Fiends get me? Only tribute summon monsters would gain a K, so my Bianca Visa would gain a K. I draw 3. I can set a spell. I mean, this isn't the best draws. Like, you would have liked to have seen some hand interactions here, but like on the crackback, you'd activate Rice off. Birth then becomes live. I can use Rehearsal to tribute off Fenrir from the hand, put it in the graveyard so that Birth can bring it back. So that's kind of like a nice little consistency play as well. But oh yeah, and then obviously in the end phase, you'd also get to resolve the Albion. So I would probably end phase resolve Matinee first, draw your cards, and then resolve the... Oh no, resolve the Albion first. It depends on how much space you've got, I guess. resolve the Albion first because you don't want to draw the Fallen and the Virtuous. Probably the best way of doing it. So there's okay half boards under draw. Just got a hand open Bianca Viso plus Malabarismo, Soiree or Rehearsal. Yeah, like you need to open up those pieces, and you need like your first search to be the best search you can get. Which is why, unless you absolutely have to, my advice would be if you do decide to play the Kashtira version, don't use your Kashtira search as your first thing. Unless you've already, like if you've got Fenrir in the hand, sure, fine, go for Birth. But yeah, don't do it if you don't have, or like Rehearsal. Rehearsal is your most important one to start with. It still sucks that your Bianca Viso doesn't get the draws, but you know. Go second again. 1, 2, 3. Wow. Okay. 4, 5. Oh, this is interesting. 6th card has to be amazing. Is it amazing? I mean, technically it is, because so we'd purge our opponent, we'd ash our opponent, we would fall in the Virtuous our opponent, right? So then we'd have to activate our Operatics. Operatics would then summon. We'd want to go for Fiends. You can then tribute down Fiends, Bianca Viso using only 1, which is what I really love about this. Chaining 1, chaining 2, whether that be draws or negates is entirely up to you. This can then grant us Rehearsal. Draw 1 of Bianca Viso. Okay. I mean, you're probably going to have to go Battle Phase, Bianca Viso, and then Main Phase 2, Rehearsal. True off the Bianca Viso. Grab you. We're not going to get as many draws, are we? Get Bianca Viso, and then guess you get Malabaresme, right? Did you get Malabaresme? I suppose you do. Activate the Malabaresme. Let's get Meteor, and let's get, depending on what you're facing, Diabolo or Fiends. Set Superpolarization. Set Fallen and the Virtuous. End Phase Operatics lets you draw 1. Sad. I suppose we can set this actually. It's not the bad card to set. Yeah, and then you'd pass. Oh no, wait! I needed a way to get Bianca Viso onto the field, which I won't get. So yeah, maybe you don't want to use Rehearsal. Yeah, okay, maybe don't use Rehearsal. Anyway, brain is starting to get cooked, and I've still got to do stuff. I might have to finish these off in the morning, I guess. Yeah, there's still a little bit of tweaking to do. There's still a lot of changes to do still. I just think that there are times where it's like, I mean, Rice Off, maybe I could play 1 less of this. But I mean, I don't know if I've got this the right way around either. I play 3 Unicorns because Unicorn giving you Birth is what loops your resource for you. That's the most important part in my opinion. So, I mean, maybe I could play a 3 and a 1 instead, but then there's no way, like, Fenrir searches out Unicorn, but Unicorn doesn't search out Fenrir. And then there's a Birth in there somewhere. So, like, ideally, I want to see any mixture, like any one of these. Because if I see any one of these, it goes into Fenrir. Like, the idea is, if you see Rehearsal, if you see a route to Fenrir, or if you see Rehearsal in your hand, right? Go Rice Off, Fenrir, Fenrir search Unicorn, Rehearsal tribute off Fenrir. Then you can summon down your Unicorn, get your Birth, Birth can then bring back Fenrir. So that's what, like, if you see Rehearsal, you go for Fenrir. So maybe the argument is I can cut a Fenrir out, maybe. And then you just play 2 Rice Off, because a Rice Off can become Unicorn. If you don't see Rehearsal, you go Unicorn. If you do see Rehearsal, you go Fenrir. Maybe that's the way of doing it. I just like playing Cash Tiers in 2026. Yeah. Okay. Well, this still needs a little bit of tweaking and testing before tomorrow, I guess. I've also got to tweak and change RDA as well. So it's going to come down between these two decks. What gets used, what doesn't get used. That can probably get sided out, I guess. And then I've got to build side decks for both of them as well. Anyway, it's currently, I mean, actually it's not as late as I thought it was going to be, but it's still nearly 9 o'clock. And both my dogs are now Sparko tired, which is great. Yeah, I need to change up a card or two in Red Dragon Archfiend. Yeah, and then go from there. Ooh. So, anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you do have any questions at all, by all means put them in the comments down below. I'm always happy to answer them. I'll be back tomorrow. I haven't decided what profile is going to come out yet tomorrow. Whether that's going to be Hecker Hands or whether it's going to be Rockets. I think Hecker Hands is probably more requested, so that'll probably happen there. And then build them from that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe and, of course, happy dueling.